Hello, everyone. Good evening. And today I'm going to be coming to you with some interesting video presentation. Um, I want to present something to you that is going to be interesting. So I just want to make sure I'm not echoing. I'm echoing a bit. So I'm going to put on some sound to make sure I'm not echoing. So I hope it's okay like this. Stay echoing a bit. Okay, I see that I'm presenting the double screen. I'm going to put it out. That should sound better right now. Okay, that should sound better right now. So good evening, everyone. I just want to have this presentation today. It's a bit of a bizarre presentation because it's just going to be a review that I want to do today about my experience in Nigeria in the last 1 year. Basically, I've been doing this now for about a year in Nigeria, and it's hard to believe that the time flew by just that fast. What happened was that, I was minding my own business, just, doing my own thing, and didn't actually bother that much about Nigeria. Like Fela used to say, when trouble came to look for me. Basically, trouble came to look for me. So, and that trouble, did it that I had to come up and say, look, I don't want to keep quiet anymore, because that was what we always did in Nigeria. That is what people always do. When there's a problem, people keep quiet. So it was time to really get onto it and get action. So basically, I'm going to be taking you through my experience. Like you will see here, I was, like I said, minding my own business, and I didn't have anything. I wasn't interested in being an activist. That was not what I had in mind, to be an activist, or the idea, or even coming up to fight for Nigeria. That was not what I had in mind. But what actually happened was that everybody knows the story by now, how I had a farm. I just set in my mobile phone here. Everybody knows my story already, how I had a farm. And because of government lack of cooperation, I decided that, we came up into this argumentative position with the government, and this whole fight came up, okay? So it was when this fight came up that, because when I came to Nigeria initially, I did not think that Nigeria was that confused at all. I know that Nigeria was bad, and I know you have to be careful when you are in Nigeria, but that Nigeria was in such a state of wickedness and decadence. And no, that was not what I expected, and I did not think that. I was not prepared for that either, to be honest. The Nigeria I was prepared for, that was Nigeria that was as bad as Nigeria that I knew maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But the new Nigeria, it was not what I was prepared for, and nobody could have been prepared for that. Okay, so basically, my first experiences made me to come up with this statement that I said, look, I discovered that the situation was so bad in Nigeria, and I think, actually, this is not so difficult to do. The problems in Nigeria is not so difficult to fix, but why are people not fixing it? So then I came up with this assessment. I said, look, suffering persists in Nigeria because people collectively refuse to do the right thing. And a lot of people look at this statement and they ignore it and they walk by. But it's a very powerful statement, because the amount of suffering in Nigeria today is such amazing. It's such a devastating condition. And when you realize, if you are like me, then you realize how easy these problems can be solved, then it is really amazing that it is not being solved. People have not come together as a group of people to collectively solve the problem of Nigeria. People have decided, because it's a decision. It's a decision, even when people don't realize that they took part in that decision. But it is a decision that people collectively did, maybe unconsciously, that we're not going to do something about what is going on in Nigeria. That is why the situation is like that. And it's very devastating. In that situation, what we see in Nigeria is that people have developed a lot of bad habits. I found it very, very weird. When I came to Nigeria, I discovered the different types of bad habits people have. And, amazingly, I was so astonished when I saw how the level of stupidity and ignorance that was going on in Nigeria. When I first saw young people pouring champagne on their head and on the floor in Nigeria, I was stunned. It happened one day. Somebody invited us to a nightclub. My wife and I went with them with a nightclub, and suddenly we had a siren blow, and then some guys came and they were shouting, and they have all this champagne, and we thought there was a fight that was going to break out. So, and I was getting worried because I thought, now we have to get away from this place. Just at that time, and then they opened the bottle of champagne and start pouring it on each other, pouring it on the floor. So, and I was thinking, oh, the owner of this place is going to come around in a moment and tell them to get out of the building because how they are wasting champagne on the floor. They are making the floor dirty. But I did not know that this was the tradition. This was now what their tradition was, to waste champagne. And that champagne came from France. They actually, French people, who, when you buy a champagne from them and you waste a glass of it, they will throw you out of the place and they will never sell you champagne anymore, because the type of respect the French people place on their invention, in this case champagne, it is so amazing. If you waste champagne or you drink champagne with the wrong glass in France, that is it is like you have committed a big crime. It is like, you were in Saudi Arabia and did not wear a burqa if you're a woman, or you walk on the street with your bikini on. That is how bad it is in France if you should do this type of nonsense. So, but this is what I met people doing in Nigeria, which was very shocking, primitive, and against, every human decency that, I knew. Okay, so this was another, I wrote about all these things. People who don't know what I've written about, things that I have championed in Nigeria, they say, hey, you didn't write about this, you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. But believe me, the last 1 year, I've written and I have recorded video about so many things. It's really mind-boggling that all those things were, what I've talked about in Nigeria. So this was an issue I talked about as well. This is 1 trillion naira. This bundle of money, that is 1 trillion. It is 1 trillion that is packed together. I wrote this article with this picture when I discovered that the CREPS, that is an organization that is a watchdog organization in Nigeria, they came up with a report that the Nigerian government has wasted over $11 trillion in, let's give it a year, 15 years, 16 years, on trying to bring electricity to Nigeria. How can a government waste $11 trillion in naira in trying to bring electricity, and Nigeria is still in darkness. Now, a lot of people don't know what 1 trillion is. So this picture is a picture of 1 trillion naira, packed together. It is a boatload of money. Try to imagine 11 times this bundle. It is a huge bundle. It is very high, and this is what 1 trillion represents. Now, 11 trillion of this was wasted on electricity alone, and we're not talking about money that was wasted in other areas, but this is just on electricity. Very, very pathetic. It was a very sad story. I wrote it, talk about it, not happy about it, but that is how it goes in Nigeria. That has been a very bad experience for me. The next one, this is the state that I came from. These two men, unfortunately, Professor Ambrose Ali, who was the long-time governor of Bende State at that time, he's now dead. He's no longer with us. And we have the current governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki. And this is really a tale of two governors. Governor Ambrose Ali, well-respected governor that has been forgotten by a lot of people. When he was a governor, I was fortunate to be in Nigeria at that time, and through him, I took part in free education. Without Governor Ambrose Ali, many of us who came from poor family wouldn't have been educated. And it was through his help that we actually got education. And a lot of young people today, like me, or my age, from Bende State, they went through the free education program of Professor Ambrose Ali of the United Party of Nigeria, or Unity Party of Nigeria. Now, why I admire that man so much is that he created over 500 secondary schools. In fact, almost all the secondary schools, government secondary schools that are functioning right now, today, 30 years later, we are created by Professor Ambrose Ali. And he made sure that even the pen you wrote with, papers that you wrote with, exercise books, and textbooks were provided to our students. He built a university in Edo State, the Ambrose Ali University. And then he ensured that the Edo State citizens, which was then Bende State, was not only Edo State, Bende State citizens who were studying in overseas. We had students in London, in America, in different parts of the world. Their school fees were being paid. The schools they were attending would send a collective bill to the governor of Edo State, and the government would pay those fees from Edo State, and each student would get a bursary. There was the money, like a pocket money, you used to put in the pocket to pay their bills. And then in addition to that, we have free education, free medical care. We have free medical care. We have doctors from India. I personally was treated by several doctors from India, from Egypt, from all over the world, because we didn't have enough doctors in the States, so he went outside to import doctors. And at the same time, while he was taking those temporary measures, then there was a process in place to ensure that new Nigerian doctors were being trained. That we had new teachers were being trained. He wanted to make sure that in the 500 secondary schools, there were going to be teachers that would be teaching those children. So he set up colleges of education. They are still there today, although dilapidated, but he set them up to make sure that these students were trained. These teachers were trained. So in 3 years, new teachers were coming up to start training in those new colleges that it was being built. Primary school, where there was a program in place to ensure that every child that came out of primary school went automatically into secondary school. And the plan that was in place was to ensure that every student that went out of secondary school would either go into a university, go into a technical school, go into a polytechnic, or go into a teacher training program. These guys did a great job. They were good. Unfortunately, their government didn't last that long. Okay. So today we have our honorable Governor Obaseki. And because of the lack of a better word for it, this government has been a complete failure. It is a complete mess. Nothing has been done. Nothing tangible has been achieved in now Edo State, despite the fact that the state is much smaller now. The state, Delta State used to be a part of Bender State. So I think, I don't know the Nigerian states very much, but I thought that a part of Enugu State was also a part of it. I'm not so sure of that. But today, this state, Edo State, is very small actually compared to how it was before. But even then, we now have governments that are not able to do simple, basic things. It is really mind-boggling. Educational system is in a shambles in the entire state, not only in Edo State, in the entire country. Healthcare is in a great mess. There is no electricity. The roads are terrible. It's just amazing. What happened? What went wrong? So I wrote about it. And this picture I showed also in one of my articles that I said, this was a picture that was taken by the governor's people, because when the governor came, he said his program is going to be agriculture. Wow, yeah, it's interesting. So let's see how we're going to use agriculture to develop Edo State. So the first project that they put together to plant 50 hectares of maize was a complete failure. So this was a picture that was taken by the governor and his men when they went there to see the result of the maize farm, and it was a complete failure. And then the story they told, you can see the guy with the glasses looking very, very, nonchalant. Apparently they said, oh, you know what? We have some minor issues where, the weed came and took over the farm. So we had to, we spent a couple of millions here and there. It was, we're going to go back to the drawing board and we're going to do it better next time. So, but at the end of the day, it is still a complete failure. It is still no one, nothing is produced from the farm. This is really, I don't understand it. How can a government who said agriculture is my thing and I'm going to make sure that agriculture is going to be the number one thing to get my state out of the mess? How is that possible that after 1 year, after 1.5 years, that we are still in this mess, that agriculture cannot be used? There is no single maize farm. Maize is a 4-month crop. If you start developing maize today, 4 months from now, you are done. You could go to Israel and hire, people to come from Israel and do it for you, and you pay them. You could go to Brazil. You could go to anywhere in the world. You don't even have to do it. Just call them and say, look, come to this state. I'll give you 10,000 hectares. This is the money. Get to work. I want to have this maize out of this place in 5 months. This is how it's done. I don't understand why Edo State cannot get this done. Okay? So this is the one that really blows my mind as well. So suddenly they said they want to build an industrial park. I mean, some of my brothers who have been in the Western world knows how industrial park look like, or what they call industrial estate. Now, this is what my people want to use as an industrial estate. There is no electricity, there is no water, there is no road leading to the place, and they set up a big story that they were going to build an industrial complex. And then the governor invited what they call this guy from the vice president, and the vice president came, the Oba Benin came, everybody came there to come and open this industrial complex. We call it a groundbreaking complex. And at the end of the day, everybody abandoned it and they moved away from the place. So I spoke about that as well. Nothing seems to be working. Well, before then, this was what his predecessor, Adam Oshomola, actually managed to spend 60 billion naira to do this. That this was supposed to, you know, reduce the flooding in in Benin City. So this, in my opinion, it's not up to 10 million to do. But they will come up with a project like this. They will sign for money from it. They will tell you it cost you $1 billion. I don't know how these people calculate their billions, man. Okay, but that is how it is. But which means that Edo State today is owing the World Banks a few billions to do this, and the state has nothing for it. The state is still back to square one because the project is messed up and nothing happened. This is how the country keep deteriorating, keep dying. Money that we owe, that money is used, is stolen, is messed up. Then our politicians go and borrow more money from the World Bank, from every other person that want to borrow us money, and they will still steal the borrowed money. So at the end, nothing happens. The country just remains in a big perpetual mess. I don't get it. So I wrote about that. This was really something that bothered me a lot. Let me see. This really bothered me a lot. Before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about this. Okay, this is something I wrote about a few months ago about this. They just show you the type of politicians that we have, the wickedness that goes on in Nigeria. This woman is from Bayelsa State. She's one of the members of the parliament. They call them honorable. You know, only I don't call them honorable because I don't see any honorability in what they do. So I would never make a mistake to call them honorable. But this person actually decided that it was going to build a floating latrine for her people. So, and the picture on the bottom right is actually the floating latrine that she created for her people. And with you know, it just take a look at it yourself. I mean, it's ridiculous. So this floating latrine, she had the audacity to call the press. You see somebody with a camera there to come and open it. I mean, I get it. It is one thing that people are idiots. It's another thing for them to be, to be advertising that idiocracy. I don't understand what is wrong with our people. And the worst case scenario is that everybody will be dancing. Look at these women dancing, you know, hailing her, you know, for what? For a latrine. This is against it's against humanity. This should be forbidden. This type of behavior should be forbidden. These people should go to jail, you know, because it's a crime against humanity, this type of behavior. The way, when you look at how that woman is dressed up, look at where she stayed. Her attire alone is more expensive than the latrine, the cost of building that latrine for those people. We are in the 24th century, for God's sake. These people now, they have a latrine on top of the water, the same water they are going to be using to do all the other things they are doing. I just don't. You see, that's where I draw the line. Okay, now we're back to the Libya slavery. When I got here, this just happened, then I really started losing hope on Nigerians. Because one thing that touched me about this picture is this. When I published an article with this picture, people will come to the blog or come to the Facebook page. People will insult me. People will call me names. People will do all sorts of things. Not everybody, of course. You know, there are always few people who do that because I talk about pastors, and I'm going to talk about them today. Because I talk about pastors, and then people will come and actually insult me there. Then I show this picture. Then I said to people, when you see this picture, how do you feel? How do you feel? And I realized that After seeing this picture and pictures that were as bad as this, even worse than this, picture of children who were dying from hunger, not just picture, but a film. The film is so horrible that I won't show it here. You will see people who say they are Christians, they're going to the church. Okay? People who say they are Christians, they're going to the church. So they came to insult me because I have something against their pastor. They will look at this person in this picture and they will not feel any pain. Okay? They will not feel any pain. They will not feel anything. And they will just go on and start insulting. So it really started to give me the idea that there are really a lot of very bad people in Nigeria, sociopathic people and psychopaths, and because any normal person who sees such a picture will react, because it has a way of react. You need to react. First of all, there are reasons why you need to react. One, they are Black people like you and I. They are Black people, And secondly, they are young people. Thirdly, most of them are from your country. They are Nigerians as well. That is well known. They are Nigerians. People we look at, we're not talking about government people. We're not talking about government people. We're talking about other people, you and me, looking at such a picture and don't feel pain. Don't feel pain. People looking at such a picture don't feel sorry, don't feel remorse, don't feel empathy. Somebody, you see, fortunately for me, the last 30 years of my life, I spent it with Europeans, and fortunately for me, all the Europeans that I know, if they see such a picture, they will pause and they will shed tears. The people that I know in my area, if they see such a picture like this one, even when they were arguing, fighting themselves in the most ridiculous way or the most aggressive way, they were fighting themselves. Immediately you confront them with this picture, they will stop whatever they were doing and they will concentrate on this picture and say, what happened? They will show them up. I noticed that Nigerians would just see such a picture of their own brothers and sisters suffering, who are in desperate situation, and people would just ignore it. People would just ignore it. Other people would say, oh, who sent them there? Who sent them there? Somebody wrote me an email and he said, the person was very angry with me. He said, look, when these people were going to Libya, did they tell you they were going? Did they ask the permission from you they were going? Why is it now that they are stuck there? You want to help them there. Why do you want us to help them there? So, I think about it and I look at it and say, look, I don't understand these people. They have the same color like me. They look like me, but I don't understand them because in where I come from, when people see pictures like this, they are moved and they want to do something and they want to react. So we've tried to, Dr. Sunday Adelaja and I tried to set up, what we call the Libya $1 campaign. So we want to gather some money. So we said, okay, let's put $1 million together. This $1 million, we can use it to set some of these people up that come back. But we can also, Dr. Sunday Adelaja also promised to add $1 million to it. So if we if we raise $1 million, he was going to add double that money to 2 million. So let's assume that we raise $1 million. So now he added $1 million to it. So now we have $2 million. Imagine what we can do with $2 million. $2 million is like 700 million naira. 700 million naira. With 700 million, we could start an agric project that would take care of 10,000 people. We could get some people to work. We could start doing some very great things. But unfortunately, today we have maybe 3,200 pounds. So, about 250 people have contributed some money to us. I thank those people for a lot, and appreciate it that these people did that. Quite frankly, I was disappointed, because when I think back and I look at how many people that follows Dr. Sunday Adelaja and follow me online on Facebook, they're in their thousands. They're in their thousands. And then I think, how can you have thousands of followers and you only have 250 people who believe in what you are doing and who want to contribute, donate some money to help these souls, these people. And so that means, then I ask myself, does that mean that all the work that I have put in, that is not worth $1 to people? Because all the training that I have given to people, all the life that I have changed through my teachings, all the things, all the work that Dr. Sunday Adelaja has put in, all the people that he has changed, all the effort, all the great things that have been done by two of us to help people, does it mean that really we are not, only 250 people find that worth it? That all those thousands of people, that only 250 people actually find it worth it? For me, it has been disappointing, because we want to make a change, and we are already using our own resources to do a lot of things. And I think, how come we have a society of people who don't care, society of people who don't show, feelings for their fellow humans? This is very bad, and it makes me very unhappy. In fact, the whole day of today, I was not happy, because I was putting this presentation together, and it really made me sad the entire day. That's why I'm coming today evening late, because I just could not summon the courage to come up this morning, because I look at our lives and I say, look, why are Black people like this? Why can't we do something right? Why can't we come up once and do it right? It is not so difficult to do. Okay. Now, these people I don't understand. Really, these people I don't understand. This really bothers me. This really bothers me, because I said to myself, and I said, why is it that, why do people do things like this? And there is something weird about this picture, though. There is something weird about this picture. Let me see. Let me try to correct it. That it is a picture on it. That is not what bothers me. But it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. There were two women on it. Anyway, this is. So what bothers me with this picture is this. And I don't know if it bothers people. I think anytime there is a bad habit, especially when it has to do with money, the Black man has it. This is a bad habit. This is a bad habit. They call it spraying. I mean, those people in Nigeria knows that. What bothers me is a lot of things here, but one of the things that bothers me is that, look, only Black people will live in a place with mud. If you look at where these people are spraying now, is mud. There is no concrete on the floor. It is a dirty piece of crappy land, muddy area. If it rains, nobody can walk in that place. It is only black people that will live in a place like this, and then somebody will come from, they call it in Nigeria, Obodo Ibo, and the person will start throwing dollars. Start saying they are spraying. But that person is so mentally screwed up that that person will not think, okay, let me find a way of fixing my environment. Let me do it like since I have so much money. Oh, by the way, I was in Dubai. I see how the streets look like in Dubai. I'm going to make my village like that. Oh, by the way, I was in London. I see how the street looks like in London, and I want to do my village like that. Oh, you know what? I was in Amsterdam. Wow, that is a beautiful place. My village must be like that. Now I have the money. Oh, you know what? I was in Florida. Isn't that place beautiful? They have palm trees everywhere along the roadside. They have flowers. They have beautiful streets, all concrete and tile. You know what? I want to do that for my village, because I live there and I have money, I'm fully loaded. And after I've done that, I'm going to spray to celebrate it because I am loaded. You see, the black man doesn't think like that. That's why people think something is wrong with the black man. The black man doesn't think like that. The black man thinks, oh, you know what? Let me show people how stupid I am. And I can spray as much as possible and on a dirty floor, and I'll just abuse the money like this. And guess what? There is no friend who said to this man, hey, this is bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, this makes you look stupid. There is no brother who tells him that. There is no wife who tells him that. There is no in-law who tells him that. There is no village people. Everybody just accepts it. And you know what? The worst case scenario is that there are people who have not done this before who are looking forward to doing this. This is their goal in life. So one day, myself, I will spray. I will spray like no man's business. That's their goal in life. Many of these people, in 10 years from now, if you see them, you may not recognize them because they will be as poor as church rat. They have not invested their money. They don't have a simple understanding of how to invest their money, how to create wealth. I just look at it and I said, where did it go wrong? What happened? In which year did it happen? Did it happen after Adam and Eve was created? Or was it the time of Nimrod? Was it after the flood? And if then, where did it go wrong with the black man? Why is it that the black man think like this? He doesn't think. His brothers are dying in Libya, for God's sake. His brothers are dying in Libya. But he's not thinking about them. He's spraying money on the ground. So even when you have $100 on the ground, imagine how much you can do with $100. What effort you can put, what you can turn $100 into. I mean, it is just stupid. It is just stupid. And to make it the most crazy part of it is this. Nigerians have now specialized in doing this all over the world. You see them in New York doing the same crap. See them in Amsterdam doing the same crap. See them in Thailand, the same crap. In India, the same crap. In Africa, the same crap. South Africa, in Egypt, in Russia, they are so. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is the most stupid, the most embarrassing, and the most disgraceful behavior you can think about. This is just, these people look at you doing this and they say, look, who are these idiots? Where did they come from? Where did they come from? These people, compared to Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, these people, they don't compare to anybody in the top 1,000 richest people in the world. And yeah, this is what they are doing with their money. And of course, this is not money that is legally earned. This is a culture of impunity. This is what our people have come down to. Now, a lot of people who were born in this environment don't realize that, look, this is madness. This shows a total disregard for humanity, total disrespect for law and order. This is like, if you are doing this, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you are an embarrassment to the human race. You are a severe embarrassment to this human race. I don't care who is doing it. If you're a Nigerian who participate in this type of activity, you are a severe embarrassment to the human race. I say that. You can write me if you don't agree with me, but I am saying to you that this is not normal. This ain't cool. It's stupid people that are behaving like this, because there are so much you can do with your money to create, something really nice for people. Okay, look at the condition of some of our people where we live. People actually live like this in Nigeria till tomorrow. This is where some of these people live. These are the type of people who are spraying money in America, in Amsterdam, wherever where they come from. This is where their brothers and sisters live in Nigeria, under very severe, impoverished conditions. What is wrong with the minds of these people? Something must be wrong, because it is not mentally okay for people to spread money like this, to waste money like this, and you waste money like this, and they have people, even when it's only one person from their country that live in such a condition, it is not an acceptable behavior. You know what is even more unacceptable? When these people come to Nigeria, they buy their meat from places like this, okay? They buy their meat from places like this. This is a meat market in Nigeria. And people can say, yeah, this is even one of the best meat markets in Nigeria. And I'm sure that people who have been in Nigeria, they know that, So let's us not, make a big story out of it. But this is how these people that are spraying meat and everything, when they come to Nigeria, they give, let's say there's a big man, they give their money to somebody to go and buy meat for them, buy something, doesn't matter what it was. They go to this market and buy their stuff there, because this is where things are sold in Nigeria. Okay. So I think, how can they justify that? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So I know I'm ranting, but I dealt with all this subject this year. I just want to show people that, look, this is not my first rodeo. I've been working on a lot of stuff. I did all this thing this year. Okay. So now, these are the pastors. Okay. These are the pastors. Now, as you will notice, we have, these are some of the best pastors in Nigeria. They are well known, everybody knows them. They are, flamboyant pastors. So I spoke about our pastors. The richest pastors, each of them is a very rich person in their own right. But I wonder and say, look, what are our pastors? What are our pastors doing for the people of Nigeria? What are our pastors doing for people of Nigeria? Because right now, Nigeria is too poor. When I was a kid, Nigeria was not like this. Nigeria is too poor today. And then I think, what are these men? What have these men turned the country to? Nigerians pray more today than they ever did. Trust me, Nigerians pray more today than they ever did. When I was in Nigeria, I was, maybe 16, 17 years old, 18 years old. We didn't pray this more. We didn't pray as much as Nigerians pray now. In fact, I was one of the few people who carried the Bible then. They used to call me Bible worm in school because I had the Bible. My father taught us the Bible, so we carried the Bible, you know. But you didn't have young people who carried the Bible or even read from the Bible. You didn't have pastors. In the whole of those states, you can count the pastors. You have Bishop Idahosa, you have a few other ones. That was it. Now that we have pastors, you know, 1 out of every 3 Nigerian men is now a pastor. Now the question is, why is it that our country is now more messed up than ever? So now the Nigerian, the average Nigerian cannot think otherwise to say, okay, hey, if our country is more messed up now than ever, then there must be a correlation with the fact that our country is messed up. Even when we have so many pastors, so many men of God, something must be wrong here. Something must be wrong with their teaching and the value system they are trying to put to people. But because of the average Nigerian cannot think about it, it's just possessed with a name. You talk about my pastor, then there's going to be fight. You know, so therefore nobody's thinking. And the poverty, you know, propagate. This dude, this is a pastor. Look, this guy is a South African guy. It's not a Nigerian. If you look at this place, you think that there is people just drop on the floor because they are drunk. No, it is the pastor that is brainwashing them. The pastor have hypnotized them and they have dropped. People don't realize that, look, this is hypnotism. You know, because people are not educated. They have not even heard of that word, hypnotism. They don't know that you can hypnotize somebody to do a lot of crazy stuff. So they see in this pastor, it's just like to humiliate people, especially women. What did women do to these people? What did women do to these people? Why is it that always the women have to be humiliated? And the funny thing is that most of our people like this. People like to be humiliated because he's a man of God. He's a man of God. So this guy, this is his thing. He likes to humiliate women, and you know, just look at people lying on the ground like, you know, pigs. Imagine Jesus doing that. Just think of Jesus as a Christian. Think about Jesus doing this type of crap. And if you cannot picture Jesus doing this to his people, then you need to think twice. Okay? This guy, this pastor, he like to pride himself in humiliating his entire women audience. You know, so like most of these women here now, they're eating grass. The pastor is making them eat grass. You know, let's assume for a while that it was through the power of the Holy Spirit. How can the Holy Spirit be used? Holy Spirit now use you to let people eat grass. That is now a God of Almighty. That is now how he wants to prove his power to you, to let people eat grass. Now, I mean, come on. This is hypnotism. People are being hypnotized and then they go and eat grass. And people don't realize that. One day I will be able to set up a TV show to really show people that how people can be hypnotized in the name of anybody, even in the name of Nimrod or in the name of Solomon, hypnotize people to do different things. And we'll call them to the audience. We don't even have to use the name of Jesus on it. You know, let people see that hypnotism is real. You can be hypnotized to do anything. And that what is going on in the churches today is just hypnotism. And, and by criminal pastors using it to hypnotize people to go and eat grass. For crying out loud, eating grass. You see, people accuse me and say, yeah, you are bringing the house of the Lord. You're trying to bring the house of the Lord down. Is it really me that is bringing the house of the Lord down? When Muslims see this, or somebody who is not a Christian see this, do you really think that there's somebody out there who aspire to go and eat grass. Say, okay, well, you know what? I want to join these people because I've never eaten grass for the past 20 years. I want to really be humiliated and go and eat grass outside. That's what I look forward to doing. So therefore, I want to become a Christian. If you're a Christian, you feel that there is another one out there who is not a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, a Buddhist, or an atheist who want to be humiliated like this to go and start eating grass, that is fine. You know, if that is what you think Jesus how to bring people to the Lord, then please go ahead. So this is, you know, I'm just short of words because, you know, this has become a habit now to play with women's private part in church under the motto of praying for them. You know, praying for women to conceive and have a baby. For God's sake, I see women who are being prayed for who are not even married. They don't even have a boyfriend. And the pastor is praying for them to go and conceive and have a miracle baby. For crying out loud. You know, I mean, these people should be old enough to know how baby comes out. So how a woman who is not in any relationship suddenly can have a baby? These are not Mary. God is not going to send a Holy Spirit to put the baby in her womb. You know, those days are gone. It only happened once. So what does the pastor have to do with this now? Pastors are just, you know, rubbing women's private parts, you know, and the other one is rubbing his private part behind her. And I mean, these guys are pastors. Man, this thing is getting out of control, man. This is getting out of control in Africa. And people really expect me to take these guys seriously. That look, I have to look at these guys, I think they are men of God. I mean, come on. Come on. If I start doing that, what would people think of me? I say, okay, look, I start to take this seriously. And I start to look at these people as men of God. What would that say of me? Look, you don't go and touch a woman's private part. It is indecent, number one. It's against the law. If you do that in Europe or America, the woman will go and you will report to the police, and the police will come and pick you up. It is a crime in many countries of the world, but Africans are just doing these things now like, oh, this is the most normal thing on earth. Oh, we play with women's private parts in the church. No problem. No problem. And these people expect that somebody should take them seriously. A normal person like me, Europeans and Americans should take them seriously. Nobody's going to, this is all nonsense, you know. Okay. This guy, I don't know what is wrong with these people. Honestly, I don't know. These guys, their thing is just jumping on people. Look at the second picture. This guy jump up, and I don't know, even he's aiming at the head of that victim. Just look at this madness. Look at this madness. And then anybody tells me that this is divine, the Holy Spirit is there now, man. These people are being used by God. This is getting out of hand. This is insanity getting out of hand. This is going out of control, people. This madness, honestly, is going out of control. Look at this dude. This dude, his expertise is working on people. He's working on people. That is the expertise of this guy. This guy come from the airport, his followers line up and I said, look, what is wrong with black people? Honestly, what is wrong with black people? What is wrong with black people? You know, because in my, mind, I think, look, first of all, it's very, very uncomfortable walking on people. because it doesn't work nice. People are not solid. You see how he's trying to do it is very difficult. Why must you do all that trouble just to say that you could do that, work on people? I don't get it. You see, this is a type of stupid thing you will never see a European do. This is a backwards behavior, This is slave mentality. It's not even colonial mentality. This is slave mentality. It's like, look, I can make you behave like you are my slave. I can do anything to you. That is what this is all about. These are black people doing this to each other. And then the people in where I come from in Europe, they will look at this type of picture, they will say, these people are idiots. These people are idiots. And then some of them will ask me, are all black people like this? And then me, what do I say? I can tell them, look, I'm not like that. So if I'm not like that, that means all black people are not like this. But they cannot understand why this guy has thousands of people in his church and willing to lay down for him to walk over them. Or why this guy will be jumping on people's head. Why would anybody allow somebody to jump on their head? I don't get it, because you can have a cracked rib. You can have your muscle can be brutalized. For crying out loud, you could die if somebody jumped on you. Why? Why would you allow that to happen? And why is it that church people, they call themselves pastors, reverend, all these guys, they cannot come together and say, look, all the pastors, let's come together. Come. This is not what Jesus Christ told us to go and do now. Why are we doing this? Let them self-manage themselves. Because now we have all the pastors that are screwed up. Then they're not, they're just going on until one day one government will come. Somebody will come into government. And, this person might be a Muslim. You say, hey, guys, enough is enough. This madness have to stop. From today we don't want to have this anymore. They say, yeah, you see Muslim, eh? This man is a Muslim. That's why he's not coming to tell us what to do. Yeah, he's Antichrist because the Bible prophesies it. But all these people now who are Christians, why are you not regulating yourselves? Who is going to regulate you? The vice president of Nigeria is a Christian. Most certain governors are Christians, and they join all this rubbish. Yeah? They join all this rubbish. So this pastor, he's actually making people drink poison. Petrol is poison. This guy has that is his specialist. Listen, you go to his church, you must drink poison. So now imagine a human being. This is torture, man. This is torture. This is torture. Somebody is torturing another human being in the name of God. This is pure torture. Christianity has become anarchy. Christianity is now a synonym to anarchy. I'm a Christian myself, but that's not what I read in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. All this nonsense is not in the Bible. And a lot of people really expect that we should take them seriously when they go on doing this. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, but this is not right. This is not human being. This is an embarrassment to the human nature. Okay? Now, and these are the people who are in charge. These are the people who can do something about it, and I've written all about them. And the reason why their pictures are here is because I wrote about them, and I said, look, you are the so-called the religious leaders, Christian leaders in Nigeria, the Christian leaders in Nigeria. You cannot expect the Sultan of Sokoto or the Emir of Kano or some imam somewhere to come and do something about the madness of Christianity today. You guys are responsible. You are the flag bearers, supposed to be the light of the world. You people have the responsibility to make sure that the Christian religion is operated in accordance to the scriptures, what the Bible said. That's the only thing they have to do. But these men, and many of them like them, just refuse to do something. Just refuse to do something. That's why if there's going to be judgment, the judgment of this man is going to be more than any other man or any other people. Because through them, we've really got the raw deal in Africa. Okay? So this is where people live now. This is how people live. And you won't believe it. Some people say, this picture is not true. It's not true. This picture, I was actually in this place. I actually went to this place once. Where that boy is standing, I actually stood on it. I was there. So it is not people say, oh, this place is not normal. Nobody live like this. No, people live like that. Trust me, people live like that. I couldn't believe it myself until I got there. Okay? People live like that. Now, people of God are supposed not to be living like this. People who believe, because God is a God of cleanliness. God is a clean God. People who live like this, something is wrong with them. Honestly, you cannot 100% okay and live like this. If you were okay before you started living like this, you will no longer be okay. If you are living, if you are living like this, if you are not okay and you live like this, then you will never be okay again. Humans supposed not to be living in this type of condition. Okay. This one really bothers me. This is the picture of the road from the Benin Express Road to Lagos. No, sorry, to Abuja. This is the Benin. If you're going to Abuja, you go through Benin, Ekpoma, Kogi State, Abuja. This road used to be a tar road. They actually tarred it. You could drive on a tar. Okay? That tarred road, it was, what is his name? Governor Obamudia that did it during his time, or the British did it. But that road has been there for a very long time. I remember when we were kids, my father used to drive us through that road because we were in Benin. We would go through that road to Ekpoma, where we had a family house. And my father had a new Toyota, and that Toyota, he would put it on, I would put on that, what they call it, the 8-track, and I would be playing a song, what they call that, Sweet Mother. Yeah, beautiful song. So we'll go through that road to Ekpoma. It was nice, clean road. But since that time, nobody did anything to that road. So now this is how the road is. Imagine the road, when I was born, you see, I'm over 50. I made that road. I made that road, but the road has always been like that. Nobody did it. Nobody fixed it. Nobody did anything. And now, 2017, maybe about 60 years later, the road is now like this. And guess what? People are surprised. We didn't do that road. Of course, the road has been there for the last 50-something years, and it has the same road, the same time, nothing did it. Okay, now, this is how it is. All these people here, they they don't like it. But if you talk about the road, if you talk about it, they get very angry with you because they think that you are insulting their governor. I don't get it. If you talk about this road, as bad as it is, it's a symbolic thing in my mind. As bad as this road is, if you dare talk about it in Edo State, then there are some people who are prepared to cut your neck off. How dare you talk about that road? Because for you talking about it alone could be an indication that you have something against their own governor. So there's a group of people who are prepared to fight and beat another person up, even to the point of killing somebody else, because they dare say something about that road when their governor is in power. That was what happened with the previous governor. How dare you say something? If the next governor comes, it's the same thing. I think, why is it that you have these idiot people who cannot see a bad road? I see a bad road. And I think, okay, somebody fix the road. I don't care who has to fix the road. If it is the governor that has to fix the road, let him fix the road. If it is what do you call it, the federal government, let them fix the road. If even the pastor, let them fix the road. So one day, I actually made a video. I made an article. I wrote an article and put a picture of Oyahilome next to this picture, because Oyahilome comes from in the same town I came from. You have to cross this road to Oyahilome's place. So I woke up one morning and I thought, how does Oyahilome get home? If Oyahilome ever comes to Nigeria and he's in Nigeria, maybe he comes from that place. Africans, we all want to go home, go back to where we were born. So Oyahilome goes back to his place. How does Oyahilome get home? Somebody say, yeah, well, Oyahilome doesn't live there. He doesn't have a place there. He donated something to the university there in Egboma. If he wants to go and see that university, how does he go? Because I know he has multiple jets, but there is no airstrips in Egboma. You cannot fly and land in Egboma. So you have to land in Benin City. If your jet can even land in Benin City, then you have to take a SUV and then drive through this road. How do you fathom that? It was a simple question. I asked a simple question and said, look, how does Oyahilome go to his hometown? Just a question. And I had and I have over 200,000 followers of Oyahilome. Can you imagine that? 200,000 at least followers of Oyahilome. They all came to insult me and it was really amazing. In fact, it was even cool that I could bring together over 200,000 Oyahilome people to come and insult me. In fact, the post, you can still check it, was seen by over 350,000 people. One post. So all these Oyahilome people came, and they said they're all Christians. And they all came to insult me and bull on me and everything. And they were cursing me with languages that even native doctors don't use. These people were cursing me with languages that even native doctors don't use, and have never seen a Muslim that used such a vulgar, terrible language before. Trust me, I know Muslim people. I have Muslim friends, and I've lived in Muslim area, not only in Nigeria. I have never seen Muslim people that use such a vile language as the followers of Oyahilome. And I wonder, what the hell is Oyahilome teaching these people? Because that's not what Jesus taught us. Jesus told us to be mild, to be loving, to love your enemy, to be kind. No, not these people. They would tell me, God will punish you. The heaven will open, and the Lord will command the Lord to kill you right now. You will not last to the end of this year. So you will not, and then the next time you are flying to Nigeria, the plane will crash. Doesn't care whether we are 300 people in the plane, but because God wants to kill me, the other 299 people, innocent one, they must die too. All that cost for nothing. Because I only ask a simple question: how does Oyakhilome get to his hometown? Simple question that requires simple answer. Now, the question is, what is wrong with these people? I wonder if you guys can guess this picture. This is going to be the last one for today. This is where I draw the line. Because when I saw this picture, and I realized that most of the meat we eat, as the people eat in Nigeria, is killed like this, is prepared like this, is done like this. And I just look at the dirty water coming out there. Look at the people inside the dirty water. I mean, for crying out loud, some of these people urinate in that water. And it just go, I mean, look at these guys there. You think they want to urinate, they will take permission. You think if these guys want to urinate, they will take permission and say, look, so where did they go? I want to go urinate for that side. No, they're doing it in this water, man. So I don't get it. All these guys, they will eat pepper soup. I come from that. All these guys, the same thing. All these guys, the same thing. All these, where the other guys, the one that were spraying money, all these guys, when they come to Nigeria, they will do the same thing. I said, what type of people, really, what type of people will do this? And in that same party, they will be eating meat that comes from that source I just showed you. What type of people would do that? So I was talking to a friend of mine from Holland, and he said, you know what? He said that there is a DNA problem. He felt that is a DNA problem. Might be a DNA problem, I don't know. But one thing I know is this. The black man has made himself the laughing stock of the world. The black man has made himself not to be taken seriously in the world. And it's not because he is cursed, but he has the tendency of doing bad things. Okay? It's not because the black man is cursed, but he has the tendency of doing bad things. He has a tendency of copying bad things from people. He has the tendency of doing something that other people will not do, and they will be. He has the, he's not. You can say it's not civilized. It's not civilized. And I just want to show something for, I don't know if, I know some of my audience know the guy called Maslow. Okay. Let me just show something to round up, and I'm going to talk about Maslow. So it makes me think about Maslow and what Maslow talk about. Okay, I'm just going to talk about Maslow a bit. It is a bit philosophical, this theory of Maslow. Okay, it is a psychological story. I just want to show it for people. Okay, so I'm going to create a new presentation here. I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to add a new page to it. Don't worry, I'll be done very fast, okay? Because I'm actually good in doing this stuff, okay? Okay, this is it. That fast it goes. This is the theory of the Maslow theory. Water to drink, warmth. In Africa, we don't need warmth, though. We need to cool down a little bit. So we sit under the tree and then rest. So before human developed to the state they are today, that is where the first thing they need. Anytime you have a human civilization, that is the thing that they need first. Okay, that is what Maslow's theory of needs is. So now, people kind of have the tendency to grow out of this. They grow out of the first one, which is the water, food, warmth, and they go out of the second one, which is safety, security, and safety. So like what you normally have in the Western world, white people, they have food to eat, they have water to drink, they have warmth, they have rest, then they have security and safety. So these 5 basic needs are met. They got it. So they don't look for it anymore. Okay? So if you are in a country, in a European country, then you have all these basic needs and then you long for a higher purpose here, which is a sense of belonging, love, intimate relationship, and friends. So you kind of look for to have intimate relationship, true friendship, caring for others, loving kindness, all that stuff. Okay. Now, as you go on in that ladder, you come here to number 3, esteem, prestige, and feeling of accomplishment. You want to be accomplished. People want to be accomplished. People, like you say in Nigeria, the man don't chop. The man is secure. He can sleep outside. Nobody is bothering him. And, all the normal little things have been taken care of. So now, what do I do with my life? Is it now life? I want to be something. I want to add value. This is why you hear people in Europe and America keep talking about, oh, I want to add value. I want to leave legacy behind. I want to do this. I want to do something for mankind. I want to leave the world better than I met it. I want to really add value. I want to help the poor. I want to help the homeless. I want to help the sick. That is how people talk here. Okay. Now, let me clean this place up. Okay. So, because we are going to the last one now. The last one basically is here, is the last part of this hierarchy. It's very important though. It's what we call the self-fulfillment need. The self-fulfillment is self-actualization. That is really the pinnacle of the Maslow theory. Self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. That is really where you have people who have gone to that stage. They are no longer thinking of themselves. They are only thinking about how do I reach my potential and achieve great things to help the masses. With what I have, how do I use it to help the world? That's why you have people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, with all these guys, some top musicians in the world thinking, how do I use what God has given me to help other people? I want to contribute greatly to other people. And that is what that is, okay? Now, the problem we have in Africa is that most Africans are still in this stage, okay? Are still in this stage. No, that is not even good. Let me draw it properly. I got drawn well. Most Africans are still in this stage. The first stage and the second stage, which is physiological needs, safety needs. That is where most Africans are. Food, water, warmth, rest, security, and safety. This is what the black man is still busy with. Even when the black man has some money, he still cannot get out of that first two ladder of the Maslow theory, the Maslow, theory of needs. He stopped there. Safety needs, physiological needs. So they might have food. Basically, the way it works in Europe and America is this. Rich people eat less. The more money you have, the less they eat, That is a funny thing. You never see a very rich person with big bowl of rice. It doesn't happen. They have small, because the more money people have, the more fine they eat. They eat more refined food. Refined in the sense that, small here, with nice taste. They start to, so it is very early in the life of the civilized, Caucasian. They do more to the inside, like they are looking more for joy that comes from inside accomplishment, no longer on the outside. So I get 2 cars, I get 5 cars, I get 10 cars, because 1 car, maybe 2 is enough. You don't need 5, you don't need 10. But the black man, if he has food to eat, he will go on eating more food, buying more food. So that's why he will say, because I have money, I will not eat only a small bowl of meat with an egg. I will eat the bowl. I will put some snail inside, put some pomo inside, put some fish inside. I will put some stockfish inside, and I will put some snail inside. 1 meal. It's only Nigerian that will eat like that. So it's because so people have to. So why am I saying this story? People don't realize that the sickness that they have, that there were already people who diagnosed this problem long time ago. So what people need to start looking forward to is how to improve themselves so that they can go higher in the, in the Maslow, ladder, so that people can get to the, esteem, a feeling of accomplishment. Accomplished, there's so much joy that you have accomplished something. There is so much self-actualization, self-fulfillment. That's why you will see people like Mark Zuckerberg, they are billionaires, and they walk around with a t-shirt that costs like $10. They don't care. You see people like Bill Gates walking around with a shirt that costs $25. For crying out loud, Warren Buffett was saying that his suit costs $125. And trust me, there are suits that cost $125 in America, and I bought them myself, and they look very good. These people have come to a stage in life that it's not because they have money. It's just this progression in life has nothing to do with how much you have or not. It just has to do with the state of your mind. People in Africa, they are stuck on the bottom 2 layer. That is why there is so much trouble there. Nobody ever have enough. Even the guy that doesn't have today, he is just waiting to have before he can become an idiot. Nobody seems to have control over something when they have it. It's just madness from here to the other place. The madness keep on and on and on and on. That is the problem. When you look at a guy like this one, when you look at these people here, you know, I just want to show you again. When you look at somebody doing this, then you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that this guy has not reached a self-actualization level, that this guy is still busy with basic needs, food, drink, water, and rest. That is, this guy is still on the level of animal instincts. He's still working on basic instincts. I have to eat today. I have to eat. I have to drink water. I have to bump again. That is why, when you look at these people, that is the reason they are doing this. They have not come to a stage in life that they are seeking for higher purpose, actualization of, you know, and being, you know, leaving a legacy behind. That is why they can watch people living in this type of condition. They won't do anything, don't feel pain about it. They will eat meat from this meat market. It doesn't bother them, okay? And you have to realize that when you see that next time, it is because of this, that these people have not come to a state of self-actualization, and which means basically that as a human being, as a man, as a woman, you need to have full potential actualization of your potential, self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment. That's why you see people, they are no longer bothered about themselves. They are no longer bothered whether they what car they are driving. They are no longer bothered whether if they are buying Gucci, if it's a Gucci shoe or the shoe comes from Walmart. Quite frankly, they don't care. They just focus on what can I do today to help humanity? What can I do today to add value towards the life of Jesus? I mean, towards the life of others. I should say that was what Jesus was. Jesus was operating on this level of self-actualization here. This is where you work when you are a true Christian. The aim of all Christians should be to come to this level, okay? The aim of all Christians should be to come to a level of self-actualization. By the time you have come to this level, okay? By the time you have come to this level, you are now self-actualized. You are now a good Christian. You care for others. You provide for others. This is what the level Jesus Christ came to die for. That human being, after learning about the scriptures, one day they will be as big as that. They must have progressed toward that direction, that they are now self-actualized. They are now great human beings, and they love their neighbor as themselves. So when you think next time, if you see the behavior of the black man next time, like I get wonder about, and I say, look, how come you have human beings like this? You know, like I can show you. How come you have human being behaving like this? Just take a look. Just take a look. And how come you can see your fellow brothers like this, crying, you know, and dying and suffering, and, you know, all this atrocity can happen to your fellow human being, and nobody seems to care? Then please realize that I'm not the one that is making it up. No, it is because they have not come to the self-actualization level of the theory of Maslow. And if you don't understand the Maslow theory, please go and study it. You just Google it, Maslow, you know, and then you'll be able to see it. A lot of people know this, so people know this, but they don't understand what it means. But the goal of a black man, for the black man to ever come out of where he is today, then people really need to start understanding that the goal in life, the goal in life is not just to chop, and be full. No, the goal in life is that we, as humans, we must progress. We must progress from the lowest level of the Maslow theory. From the bottom, we must go up, proceed up, and our goal is to try to reach the top of the ladder. The same thing Jesus Christ preached about. The same thing, that is the spiritual awareness. That is when you come to a spiritual level, a spiritual awareness. That is when your life becomes meaningful. You are no longer living for yourself. You are living for something greater. You have a personal connection with God. You are not just talking about it. You are not just talking about, I love God, singing, God, praise thee. But actually, you have a personal connection. And it is also the reason how people have personal connection with their partners, with people they love. Really personal connection, and not just the talk. A lot of people today, a lot of our people, they do the talk, but they cannot have personal connection because they are stuck here in the first two layers of the hierarchy of need. So that's it for today. I know that some people were, maybe worried about what I've said, because even what I've said bothered me a lot. So before I said it today, and I'm sure that there are other people that were worried also. So, but that is how it is. I cannot help it. It has to be said, and it's time we start doing something about it. Thank you for listening. I love you all, and take care of yourself, and you'll be seeing me again. Thank you.